All right, so today we're going to be talking about polytechnic education and the importance of attending a polytechnic, learning a trade. So we're here with Edwin, and he's just going to give us a little bit of information and insight into what goes on in the everyday life of a polytechnic and how to become one. All right, so Edwin, tell us, why did you decide to attend a polytechnic? Why did you decide to gather such experience?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I know I liked sports, sporting goods and stuff like that. So I was in retail sporting goods. But what I was doing is I found that I was driving a lot, going to places to go cycling and skiing. And I wanted to make sure my car was okay to make it to these places. So it was kind of a practical choice for me to go into automotives, maintaining the car and learning about it and fixing it and doing things. So you learn how to do maintenance and stuff like that on your own, but there are more things that are very interesting that I found that I needed to learn more of. So that's the reason I wanted to go into automotives, to go to school to learn and then eventually hopefully get a job in automotives, which I have done.
Okay, and how long have you been in the automotive industry?
Yeah, so automotives for 27 years, so the better part of my life.
All right, so Edwin, tell us, what were some challenges in school when you were studying to become an automotive technician? What were kind of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome?
Yeah, so the biggest challenges were actually challenges that I welcomed. Going into the program at the Polytechnic, I expected to do a lot of maintenance and stuff like that. What I found was the biggest challenge was I was faced with a car with an electrical problem in the headlight. And I didn't expect to see a problem like this. And going through the diagnosis, I found out that the car had been in an accident and there was a broken wire somewhere. So that involved me taking apart the car in the front end just to find these broken wires. So that was a challenge that actually stimulated me enough to think that definitely I want to stay in this career path and specialize a little bit in the drivability and the electronic part of the industry.
Perfect. So that was like a practical problem that you had to, find solutions to. Yeah. Did you have problems with finances in terms of paying for tuition to, go to attend a polytechnic? Did you have any sort of problems like that, or how did you go on to afford these programs?
Well, the school program, if you go through the Polytechnic first, I save money. But there are scholarships, there are awards and things like that, which I got a few of in the end. But for the Polytechnic, I just basically paid up front. It's not that expensive of a program compared to maybe something like a university where it's a longer term and it's more per semester. It's actually quite reasonable to go to a Polytechnic and start. Now again, with the Polytechnic versus the apprenticeship, if you go through the apprenticeship route, you're actually getting a job first and they sign you up. So you're actually being paid to work. And when you go to school to complete each period, you can actually collect employment insurance from the government and they support your training that way. And then again, with the scholarships, with awards, you can still win money, and even local automotive dealer groups offer scholarships to students when they finish successfly.
Perfect. That's I didn't know that. That's very good information. And would you say you had any challenges in your career so far? Like as an automotive technician, what has been a challenge for you so far?
Yes, so in the automotive service technician role, the challenges were just trying to keep up to date with the changing technology. Cars, though they have an engine, they have four wheels, they have vastly changed. A lot of the technology has changed. It's not so much work that is involved with being under the car. A lot of the work is actually very clean work where you're inside the car doing diagnosis on electronics like sensor systems or entertainment systems, infotainment systems, telephone systems, GPS systems, navigation, all different sorts of electronics. So those are always constant challenges. Again, they are very stimulating challenges because you're required to learn and grow with the products.
With the industry.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. So what advice would you give to, say, a grade 12 student thinking about, should I go to university, should I go into trades? What would you advise them to do?
I think the number one piece of advice I would give to somebody looking to get into a trade is to research it. Research it in the sense of you could look online, but you can also talk to your school counselor. Maybe there's an automotive shop in your high school already that you can actually check. Or what I like to do is go for a field trip. So you could actually approach different potential employers and just ask for a tour of their facility and just have a quick look. And you can see the day-to-day operations of the shop and get an idea of what the shop environment feels like. I think that's a good way to research and get into it.
All right, so tell us, Edwin, what are some misconceptions about the automotive industry? I know growing up, it was kind of looked down upon to be in trades. Everybody kind of wanted to, go the university route. So what are some common misconceptions about, becoming an automotive technician?
Yes. Well, the work is not always physically difficult, though it can be, but it is also mentally challenging. So again, the type of learning, the diagnosis, those are all jobs and duties that we go through that are probably not just being greasy or dirty. So there's a lot of clean work, and that's very good. And what that also means is anybody can do it if they have the right mindset to just learn and to work through problems and problem solving. So I've seen in the industry people with disabilities. It's a very welcoming industry.
All right, Edwin, so talk to us about a typical day at the Polytechnic. What did you learn, and did you learn in the classroom? Did you learn in the workshop? What was a typical day of learning like?
Okay. The typical day would start off in the classroom. We would learn theory, we'd do things with books, we'd do just different projects, sometimes teamwork. And then in the afternoon, we would go into the shop. So we would actually be in a shop environment, and we would work with models of different parts of the cars, like for instance, a differential or an engine or a transmission. And we'd actually do work on those, like either taking them apart, putting them back together, or we'd actually work on cars and doing and performing different things on the car. So it's split pretty much 50-50 classroom and workshop. So you're not always sitting at a desk.
Okay, and was the workshop always related to what you learned in the classroom that day? So it kind of puts it in a practical kind of example, kind of makes it practical?
Yes, definitely that's how it would work most of the time. If we learned something in the classroom, we'd want to just finish the module first and then go in the shop. So it could be the same day or the next day, but very closely related so that everything you learn in the classroom can be reinforced in the workshop.
Perfect. Thank you, Edwin. All right, so can you talk about your satisfaction in terms of your expectations versus reality? So when you were in Polytechnic, obviously you had, expectations of what your life would kind of, the direction your life would take. Are you satisfied with how it's going right now?
Yes. So with the initial entry into automotives, I thought I would just be working on cars. But through the number of years that I've been in the industry, there is room for progression and moving up, getting promoted, getting raises, making more money. So there is natural progression as an apprentice from first year, you get a certain amount of money, you get more the second, the third, and when you're done, the fourth year, you get a certain amount of money. And from there, it can be flat rate, which means the more efficient you are, the quicker you are working on things, you can actually make more money. So from there, I progressed to be an assistant shop foreman. So then I became working more on the difficult vehicles. I dealt more with customers. I dealt with the technicians, helping people. So it's a very people-oriented job. And then from there, I moved up into being the shop foreman. So again, there's a pay increase. There's more duties. There's more customer-facing work. There's more planning for the shop. And again, all of that has been very rewarding. That path has been 27 years. And been very enjoyable. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It is actually a very good career that allows me to live a lifestyle that I enjoy.
Perfect. So if you had a chance to do it all again, you would do it all again?
Definitely.
Awesome.
Polytechnic School would be the direction I would suggest.
All right. So yeah, thank you. It's been very nice talking to you. I'm sure our listeners and viewers would have learned a lot and gained a lot of insights. He has a lot of experience. He's been doing this for 27 years. So, it's something that obviously is rewarding. So yeah, thank you very much for talking to us, Edwin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.